you're training your mind to be under that kind of pressure for that amount of time, which is phenomenal. What do you do then during that time? Okay, you're running like 3 hours. You're biking 4 hours. You're swimming 3 hours. What do you do mentally? Where does your mind go? Because you talked about visualization, but what do you work on, or what are you thinking?
Oh man, honestly, in the pool, I mean, it's serious, but it's a joke. It's just like, how long can I go without looking at my watch? Like, just play that mind game. And like within like trying to just kill time, you're also just thinking of like visualizing the race, or just sometimes too, like if you're in the pool, it's not super intense. So you can just kind of think about daily tasks if you have them. I'm fortunate I don't have too absurd, like I don't really have a ton of daily tasks. Like going to the grocery store is a big task for me. And I joke too, because like
it's a big one for me too, because when I go in, my wife's like, why did you buy all of this stuff? What did you went to the grocery store for 5 things. I'm like, and you didn't get but one of those 5 things that I told you to get. I'm like, I got distracted.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't send me to Costco ever.
Yeah,
or by myself.
Yeah, I have to walk in with a list, and I just like on my notes app, just get rid of them. Good, got it in the basket. Next, like otherwise I'm. So, but yeah, no, for me, like in that moment, it's just like, I don't say you let your mind wander, but you just kind of like let it take you to where it go, like where it kind of wants to go, if that makes any sense. Like you kind of like exit from the moment for a little bit, just kind of pass the time, but obviously then you gotta refocus and recenter. Especially when it's like just a long time. But there's like certain times where you have to be like super dialed and stuff. Like there were, let's say, because a lot of times I do like pool fartleks, or like, because I hate swimming, like swimming laps, so I just mostly aqua jog. So I'd just break it down like, I do 90-minute fartleks, 3 minutes really hard, 2 minutes off. So that's how you break up time and stuff. So you just play little tricks like that. And even too, if you got to the Zwift or something, it's like hop in a Zwift bike race, or go climb Alp do Zwift and try to outride, go for the KOM there. So it just keeps you engaged in some capacity. But obviously sometimes if you're just spinning or just aqua jogging, your mind does drift to certain other things.
So you end up playing different types of games.
Essentially, yeah. I mean,
that's kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah, Zwift is basically one massive bike game. So that was fun. And yeah, like I said, there's some times where I did it one time where I made it about hour. It was like an hour 44 minutes without checking my watch or the clock, which I was pretty happy with. There's also another time where I'm like, it's been at least 40 minutes, and it was 16. And then you're like, oh god, this is gonna be a long day in here, man. So you just you test yourself in that capacity. So just anything to kind of pass time. But like I said, usually just break it up with some sort of a fartlek or.
So that, I think I love the game aspect, and then you have this year where you go, breaking, fracturing your back, and then you re-injure it again.
Yep.
And you're playing the games again.
Yeah.
Where do you go from here? Because this is a tough year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's maybe the toughest year you've ever had.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
In your career.
Yeah, and I'm fortunate to say that was the toughest year ever, and it was just, dude, you have a fracture in your back, like life still go, like you're fine,
Oh sure, right.
But,
compared to like
yeah,
a lot of other people's tough years.
For sure, yeah. So, but for me, it was just all right. Like let's get out here and let's go get like the trials. And I think too, to consider yourself a good marathoner in the U.S., you have to be at the U.S. marathon trials no matter what. So obviously I was injured when the qualifying time came out for the 2024 trials. So I was like, well, shoot, I want to get that. It's like, if you say you're a good marathoner, you better be at the trials. So like, that's one they have to, like, that's a box I have to check in 2023. So, because I'll back up too. I got injured January of 2022. I didn't race again until February of 2023. So 13 months I was off. And I didn't really start running again until like September, October of 2022. But had, I think, done so much cross training, just built an aerobic engine. Obviously, my legs were way behind, just the running legs. But eventually, like once my legs caught up to my aerobic system, things were firing. It was kind of a frustrating first part of 2023, but things really kind of started to click through that summer. I got sidetracked. You're
good. You're good. So you have this amazing.
Yep.
You're getting your legs back. Your aerobic capacity is pretty large. Your engine is large, but you're trying to get your muscles to get lined up with that. Okay, so you're on your way to this world record. You actually have already imagined it a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, it's been that like I don't want to say it consumed me, but it was like it's what got me through the shitty days in the pool. Yeah, like and even too like in Colorado, like again you live here, so it's like, and if you want like a good lane at the pool, you don't want to get splashed. You got to get there at 6 a.m. to like make sure you're in the aqua jogging lane, so there's people be swimming in that lane, and it's not fun. You're getting splashed every time they swim by. So it's like it's dark, it's 20 degrees out. You're getting in the pool for 3-4 hours,
and the pool's not warm.
No.
Yeah, it's freezing.
Yeah, so it's just like, so what got me through is being like, dude, like, you're building towards ultimately this goal. Like, that's going to be like the biggest circle when you get out of here. At least for that moment, obviously. Once you get it, we'll, reshoot for something else.
Yeah,
but
and in between your injury and all of your working and you're starting to build, you have this world record way out there. But then you've got these few things like you're talking about that are in between you and there.
Yeah.
Okay, so and like I said kind of at the beginning of this part of the conversation is it seems like the world record comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But you've been imagining it for a year now.
Yeah.
And you're about to go, like you said, you're a marathon runner. That's like your thing. And you're headed toward Worlds.
Yep.
Right? Or USA Championship. Help me out with that. Is it USA Championships or Worlds?
Oh, when I got injured.
No. What you're going to now because you're building up your legs.
Now it's 100K Worlds in December. Yep.
So 100K Worlds in December. You're on your way there. So give us a few more, like, where did the switch flip? Like, what are some of those? What's that big moment? Because you're on your way, and how does it come out of nowhere? And take us to the moment where it's like you shocked the world. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this too. In this, and my girlfriend she'd hear me because we started talking literally like February of 2022. So like I'm injured, I'm in the pool, I'm not running at all. But she's always like, yeah, like what's your goal when you get out of here? I'm like, I'm gonna break the 50-mile world record. And like I didn't like say I want to. I said I'm going to. So like, dude, it before that race even went off, like I'd already like broken it in my mind. I'd seen that course, done it, broken it 50,000 times in my head. So I just had this like absurdly like innate belief in myself that I was going to go get it, because I just kind of put in the hours of visualizing it in the pool, cross training, even like in the runs when I had gotten healthy really through late 2022, 2023. And I'll say this too, and I really kind of wanted to go after it earlier if I could have, but obviously like the injury and the group that I was with at the time, which was actually Austin's group, Roots, they were kind of just a pure marathon group. And that at the time was like, well, I want to get to the trials, make sure I'm there again. So it's like, makes sense to be with these guys. But at the same time too, I think I'm like, I'd love to double dip. And unfortunately that just wasn't an option with the group. And just the training structure and, what our coach Richie wanted for me. So kind of that next flip that switched, was unfortunately it came down to Rich and I had kind of a blow up. I know enough about training to know kind of what I need. And it just at the time wasn't what I needed to run to the best of my ability. So I ended up leaving Roots. And as soon as I did that, I'm like, I'm gonna go break the 50-mile world record. Now I can, because I wanted to run the 50K championships early that year too. And didn't make a ton of sense, but I had some bonuses for it. And I was told no, I couldn't do it from Richie. So I'm like, well, that's a little frustrating. So I'm like, you know what? Now I can go do exactly whatever I want, and I think I can go do it. So that was definitely
Sometimes you need somebody to tell you that you can't do it.
Yeah, just to motivate you a little more. And that was definitely a flip that switch, and was it for the better? I'm not sure. Like I love those guys. Like those are my best friends. Austin, Noah, Dradi, like love that entire crew. Sydney Gidabudai, Aiden Reed. Could keep listening to those guys, but yeah, those are the homies. Like those are my best friends. So that really hurt leaving. But for my career and like what I want to do in the sport, like it was kind of a necessary move, unfortunately. So that was definitely kind of another flip that had switched. But with that being said too, like leading up to the world record and just, where it kind of came out of nowhere, I think it just was like, it's been kind of a multi-year build of like even 2021, helping Des and like having that first little idea, that first little spark to being like, maybe I can do it on this course in Tunnel Hill. Another buddy, Fernando Cabada, who he kind of, I don't know if he's officially retired yet, but he was a U.S. marathon champion in like 2008 when the race was in Minnesota. I begged my mom to drive me down to watch him do it and like, or to watch the race, and like he ended up winning, and he's been someone I've looked up to since then. Like I was in middle school, and now he's just kind of a friend, mentor of mine. So, you know, he's like, Tunnel Hill would be a good course to do it on. So that had been in my mind too, since basically after I paced Des. So really, I mean, from April 2021 to November 23. So you're looking at, you know, 2.5 years. It was just kind of a long build, but it really, it's, you know, the culmination. I think this is also a Des quote where it's like, it takes 10 years of work for, you know, one moment of glory, or you know, I don't want to butcher it, but something like that, where it's like holistically you look at it, it's like, yeah, Plaz had me for 5 years in college. I've been running professionally for 5 years post-collegiate. It's literally 10 years of basically build up and work prior to culminate, you know, in that. And really the last 2.5 years of pretty dedicated, for the majority of it, from what I could control, pretty methodical training to go try to get it, and just kind of the mental training to just be able to lock in and will myself to, you know, believe that I can go get this.
I've heard this, and I love this. It's and you're hitting it really, really solidly, is people overestimate what they can do in a year, and they underestimate what they can do in 3 to 10.
Yeah.
And it's like, hold on. Have a bigger vision for your life, that you can look at it and say, it's only a matter of time.